137 players, 8 rounds, or this many fingers, which of course the camera cut away, but that was cool.
Players in the Legacy Open, you may begin
Gerry,
round 3.
We need you to
There
stop
we go, round 3 begins,
terrorists.
and Gerry leads right off with the candelabra.
Not to say Drew Levin is a terrorist by any means, but
don't even
turn
know
1
what you're
candelabra of
talking
Tawnos. I'm on my own
I
page
know it.
here.
That's about how it goes. I'm quickly setting a timer for myself so we can keep track of how much time is in the round.
Not a bad plan.
So here we're going to see if Gerry Thompson piloting the high tide list can make a dent in the metagame as well. Did he choose the best deck, or is he a week late?
Excited to see. We haven't got the deck lists yet, but I'm excited to see. I think Drew
Players
Levin
in
is pretty
$10 draft
standard.
number
He
2.
he
Please
said he's
come on
pretty
up
much
to the
playing,
assignment stage where
playing
your
Dan
judge Bruce
Signorini's
is
list from
happily
DC.
waiting for
Right,
you.
so
I don't even know if he
Players
changed
in
the card.
$10 draft number 2.
I think he changed the. He may have changed the sideboard a bit, but
Yeah.
okay. So Jerry's changed. Just changed the intuition. Is Alex here? Okay, Alex not here.
No, Alex will be here in.
But
in
on
Georgia.
Alex's recommendation, Gerry has
Oh, I see.
moved intuition into the main deck. So here comes some deck lists. All right,
So we have Underground Sea and Trop Island on Drew's side, and
it's been a fetch fest so far with the Gerry with 2 Scalding Tarns and Drew Levin with Misty Rainforest and I believe a Polluted Delta. But notably, Drew dropping the dual lands and Gerry dropping the islands.
ponders into Brainstorm Sea and a third card that I didn't quite see. Gerry is apparently very cold. He is wearing a hood and a winter hat. Drew ponders again. Somebody asked if either of us will be at Louisville or Indy. Are we going to be at either one of those?
No.
No.
You have Dallas coming up and in Orlando, is that
Dallas,
it for you?
Charlotte, Orlando.
Dallas, Charlotte, Orlando. And I'm in Boston and Orlando.
Right on. Gerry's just straight playing islands. Drew is just going land go here.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like Drew has the disruption. So he's going to predict his top card, and don't know what he named, but
I believe he named Tombstalker.
yeah.
Drew too.
Yeah, he did ponder, so he should have hopefully named the Tombstalker,
Yeah, right.
since that is what he left on top.
And he just picked up another Tombstalker on his draw. So
There's a Hymn to Torok. Here's where things get really interesting, because obviously Drew probably wanted that disruption a little earlier, but
sure.
only found it now. Gerry appears to have at least one Force of Will in his hand, if not more.
I see 2 for sure.
Medina is trolling us, saying we don't have to cover an event to actually be there, but I only have so many weekends that I can take off work, and manage to do it for all the coverage events.
I'm probably gonna go up to Boston. More and more I think about it.
Seems like a good plan. So meanwhile, the Hymn resolved and hits a Force of Will and a Polluted Delta.
So Gerry apparently
Wasn't too concerned about losing.
or maybe he didn't want to pitch anything else.
Right.
Seems
There's a
likely to.
brainstorm from Drew. No, I believe I see.
Looks like I think it's intuition.
Yeah, I was going to say intuition. Maybe. Yeah, it's tough to see.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's intuition.
I think it's 3 blue cards in his hand.
Right. One of them is a time spiral, from what I gathered looking at it earlier. But
Okay. cracks his Misty Rainforest.
Apparently did not like what was on top of his deck,
No.
or put what he didn't need on top of
Yeah.
his deck. More importantly.
Resetting the top of his deck,
Yes.
right? And grabs an Underground Sea and lets Gerry have a go at it. Gerry looking like he wants to do something here at the end of turn, and that's a Cunning Wish. So, remember when the wishes were in Standard? That was a fun time, like to be able to just grab things out of your sideboard.
Yeah.
It was kind of such a different aspect of the game where you're like, how do these work? You know, this is strange. I get to look for a card outside of my deck. You know,
Grabs Meditate. I remember playing Burning Wish. I
yeah,
think that was
you
one of the
played a
main
lot
ones.
of Burning Wish. I played a lot of Living Wish.
Yeah.
But Cunning Wish, I think, is clearly the best wish. Now, I know Golden Wish and Death Wish, I think, were the ones that were terrible.
Yeah.
So, and what was was Golden Wish the one that was printed more recently? There was another Wish printed
Glittering
recently.
Wish.
Glittering Wish, okay, that's what it was.
See, in Future Sight, I opened one of those in my box I bought.
Of course, Noyan loves Death Wish, he says on Twitter. He would, because he probably found a way to make it unfair. So here we go, Drew dropping a Misty Rainforest. Neither player really doing very much. I mean, Gerry has that Candelabra, but he's not really.
Well, I don't think he has
not
the high
making.
time.
No, exactly. He's not making an attempt to go off. He's not making. Well, he's not able to make an attempt to go off. So
And he
Drew
also looks like
dropping
he may have
the.
missed a land drop? Unless,
Well, Drew delving into his graveyard to pay the casting cost of that Tombstalker. And dropping a Tarmogoyf. Yeah, that was. I was
Wow.
wondering why he was. He's taking a look in his graveyard, wondering if it was because he was going to be following it up with a Tarmogoyf soon.
sure.
It was sooner rather than later here.
But why wait, I suppose?
Right. So Gerry going to go with the Meditate. Give Drew another turn.
My guess is that the Tarmogoyf is still in the stack here.
Yeah, I think it may be. Unless it resolved and then he cracked the Misty Rainforest, and then in response to that,
I mean, if he,
got the Meditate. Yeah, see, because there's the Misty Rainforest resolving, the
Okay.
fetch line resolving.
well, he must have let the glyph resolve. Drew has some real pressure now.
Yeah. Now, is that pressure going to be relevant? Because if Gerry can just go off, doesn't matter.
Right.
Now, Drew getting to take his extra turn because of Gerry's Meditate. Gonna brainstorm. Gerry's
This does
letting that
allow
resolve.
Drew to draw into some disruption
Or action.
or some action.
And in with the Tombstalker and the Goyf. Do we know how big that Goyf is?
It looks like it's about a 4/5. Yeah, he's got a Tombstalker in his graveyard. Yeah, it's at 4/5.
Okay.
I will say like I'm right, and if I'm wrong,
Correct yourself, right. So Verdant Catacombs fetching the 4th Underground Sea out of Drew's deck.
Players in EDH pod number 3, please make your way to the registration stage. EDH pod number 3.
Alright, so I didn't see what he put back, but he does have a Tarmogoyf, an additional Tarmogoyf in hand. And it looks like he's going to drop. Oh, no, wait, that's a. Not, yeah, him to Torok now there.
yep. That seems like he
Gerry,
might have to counter
yeah,
this.
Gerry
I mean, he's
seems
got-
like a must
I
counter.
think he's got 2 forces in his hand.
I think so, too.
again, so I mean, if he's looking to protect other spells in his hand, he can go force, pitch, force, you know.
Yeah,
And
but then again, he may need to hold those to protect his combo when he goes
True.
off.
Very
Or
true.
hold at least one of those. Nope. He's going to let it happen, say. Let fate decide. He does have a full grip. In fact, it almost looks like he has more than 7 cards, but he just randomly chooses rather than rolling die. And he hits 2 merchant scrolls?
Wow.
With that. Wow.
That seems kind of brutal. It's interesting that Gerry that's the second hymn that he's just let resolve.
Yeah. Maybe he's just not afraid of it. No fear, letting it resolve, and figures he can make up for it with with his other spells. Maybe he just feels like there's nothing in his hand that's really that worth protecting. And there's a High Tide. And there's a Daze for the High Tide. It's going to force him to waste some of that land. And there's a second Daze. And Gerry paying for all of them. All 2 of them, for both of them, that is.
Which definitely takes him off of Time Spiral mana.
Right, and I think that's what Drew was trying to do.
Yeah, that was a pretty smart play there by Drew.
All right, just forcing Gerry to tap more mana. Gerry in the tank here with a resolved High Tide, but only 2 islands to make use of.
But he does have the Candelabra, so he actually
so that's
can.
what he's going to have to do here.
Right.
Basically, he taps 4.
It's just going to slow him down a little bit.
Taps 4 and untaps 4 lands.
Hold on, he's stifling the Candelabra.
Yeah. That's
Which
nice.
will meet a force, most likely.
We gotta see what happens here. So the stifle on the Candelabra.
I mean, he obviously, if he's going to go off this turn, he obviously has to counter that.
Yeah.
Not only does he have to counter it, but he has to win whatever counter war Drew might be setting up.
Yeah. And Drew, I believe, still has. I don't know how much mana Drew even has left to possibly try to cast another stifle if he has it or something. Would be interesting. All right, so Gerry looks like he has Force of Willing. Just judging from his interactions there. There we go. So yeah, there's a Force of Will, which I believe he removed an Intuition from the game. Okay, so the Candelabra actually happens there.
Okay.
Untaps 4 lands. Now looks like he tapped 4 again for a Meditate. I think it was Island, Preordained Island. That's
it's pretty rough, but I think he does have a Brainstorm, so
yeah.
He can dig a little deeper and see if he can come up with the answer.
Right. So there's a Preordain.
Okay, Preordain is probably pretty good too, and he can.
Yeah, because he does have that 1 floating mana left from the
Right.
Meditate, or from the 2 islands where he cast a Meditate and left 1 floating.
Draws another Candelabra.
Preordains into Candelabra, and yeah, I didn't see what he saw, but he grabbed the Candelabra. So he's gonna. Yeah, I would think you play the tap 2, play the Candelabra, and then you're able to untap 3 lands here. Yeah, there you go, 3. So untap 3. It still gives him 6 mana to play with. There's 2 more. 1 for a Brainstorm. He's got 1 floating.
Draft
And,
open top 8 players.
Intuition
Please meet
Merchant
at draft
Scroll.
table 1.
that
Again, draft open top 8 players. Please meet at draft
Turnabout.
table 1.
Is that what it was? It was turnabout? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, and there's a Merchant Scroll. I think he still has 1 floating.
Okay. What's Gerry gonna look for here? I mean, I imagine
He's trying to figure out exactly what he wants to do here, but I think he's got some idea. No, unfortunately, he can't grab Time Spiral because it's a sorcery. But I mean, he can grab a Meditate to dig.
he can. I mean, there are a lot of things he can grab.
Right.
But you can grab another high tide, maybe. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I saw a turnabout in his hand, so he has another untap, you know.
Okay. Oh,
So
he's
he's
got
a surfer
grabbing a
curse.
Cunning Wish.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Cunning Wish grabbing. Well, I didn't even see what he showed.
He showed him a brainstorm, and Drew picked him up.
You showed him a brainstorm?
Not brainstorm. I'm sorry, brain freeze.
Okay, yeah.
I knew
was
what
like,
I meant.
Why would he? What the heck was that
Oh
about?
no, brainstorm.
Okay. So
How will I survive?
again, there it was. Drew Levin's pressure not relevant.
Yeah.
Not relevant enough to stop Gerry before he could get going. And even though Drew set up a pretty sweet little sequence of events there, where he double dazed the high tide, and then stifled the candelabra, it just wasn't enough. All Gerry needed was one force of will and one blue card to take out to just counter that stifle on the candelabra, and that was, Gerry was able to dig out. But there you see where candelabra really made a difference in that match.
Candelabra was huge.
Right. It was probably about the same size as the rest of the cards, but its impact was huge. It was.
You are right, sir. I did not know that.
Yeah, just hearing a little on Twitter from Noyan, he's saying about the amazing thing about Spiral Tide is that its combo, it plays enough counterspells to protect itself, and it's so resilient, it's crazy. So, I mean, there you saw an example of that. That's what Gerry did. He didn't even look like he was, he kind of just waiting to get the right cards.
I love the interaction where you can Cunning Wish for Pact of Negation to protect the combo.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's
Yeah,
pretty wild.
Don't even need to be able to tap the 5 next turn because you usually win beforehand.
Yeah.
I love that about Pact of Negation, like how it reminds me.
And when
like,
you're in the middle of going off with the time spirals, you're gonna draw. You might draw your other 2 Cunning Wishes, so you can at some point grab multiple packs.
Right, just like getting free counter spells, just enough to protect your combo to win before you have to pay for the Pact of Negation.
Right.
And
You just keep grabbing stuff to protect it.
like I think of that Pact of Negation every time somebody drops Eldrazi Monument on me in Standard and wins. I always think of that Pact of Negation kind of thing. It's like you didn't even have to deal with the drawback of that.
Yeah.
Like that's why those cards are good. It's kind of like I'm gonna win before
Players
the
in
drawback
Standard
matters.
Winnabox number 2, please make your way to the registration stage. Standard Winnabox number 2.
Now,
So let's take a look at the list here. What does Drew bring in?
it seems like Crows and Grip.
Crows and Grip
for the
seems good.
Candelabras seems really good.
Spell Pierce even seems decent because forcing them to pay more mana even when they have it.
Yeah. Yeah, the Spell Pierce does seem like it could be a good choice. I mean,
Engineered
obviously,
explosives, not necessarily, but I mean, think about it. Does wipe a candelabra off the table pretty easily.
it's true, but I don't know if the...
No, I don't know. It's just a one-up,
Right.
but it's another way to kill the candelabra, and I don't know if that's the battle he wants to fight. He does also have 2 Maelstrom Pulse in the board that he could use for candelabras. Sorcery speed, unfortunately, but
Probably not gonna...
yeah, I don't know if that's worth it. But
Yeah, I mean,
he
like,
doesn't need.
Crows and Grip seems way
look
better.
Look at. I mean, he's got room though. He can cut. He does have 2 engineered explosives in the main deck, so.
So he might not add any more.
right.
Doesn't seem necessary.
And he's got go for the throat
Which is
in
like
his in his
Snuff
main
Out and
deck.
Go for the Throat can definitely go.
Right, exactly. So he's got some room. He's got at least 4 slots there, just to bring in the Crows and Grips and the Spell Pierces if that's what he decides to do first. Gerry, I mean, that's the thing about combo decks. How much sideboarding do you really want to do, especially with Cunning Wish? Being able, basically, I mean, his sideboard is
Right.
is
Well,
there
yeah.
for
Well,
Cunning
Gerry's
Wish, right? Gerry's
sideboard is a
basically
toolbox.
like no reason to really sideboard
Right.
anything. That's kind of one of the more fun things I love about Wish decks is that the sideboards are they're an entirely different animal.
Right. Yeah, Beards on Fire corrected me. Oversized cards aren't tournament legal.
Exactly.
So
The candelabra was not big.
it was not. It was a normal-sized candelabra of autos.
So for those of you just joining us, we're watching Gerry Thompson and Drew Levin battle it out in round 3 of the StarCityGames.com Open Series here in Memphis, Tennessee. We're in Legacy, and we saw some awesome magic yesterday, culminating in the finals this morning between Master Edgar Flores, or Edgar the Master Flores, I think is probably more appropriate there, rocking the blue-white Callblade list that he has top-aided 3 consecutive StarCityGames.com Open Series standard events with, reaching level 5 in record time. But he was taken down by Joey Mispagel, who was rocking a Valakut list. Valakut definitely resurged, showed up again, reared its ugly head once again this weekend, and showed that it is still a player in the standard metagame. But here we are in Legacy, and Gerry rocking the High Tide list that Alex Hatfield used to take down the event last week in Edison, and Drew Levin saying, looking back just one week further back to DC, the winner of the DC Legacy event with the Team America list that Dan Signorini used. So Gerry leads off with a Ponder, and Drew leads off with a Tropical Island, and then, Drew led off with the Tropical Island first. Gerry goes with Ponder. Drew goes with Fetch, Underground Sea, and Tarmogoyf.
Gerry kindly taps Drew's mana for him.
Yeah, I'll take care of that for you, buddy. And Gerry goes with the second Ponder.
Alrighty. So we've got a Goyf down. And Gerry's pondered and passed the turn. Drew is cracking his second Fetch Polluted Delta.
So Drew trying to get the pressure a lot earlier this time to make it a lot more relevant. Although that Goyf isn't that big. He's what, a 2-3 right now? It's just he lands and
lands and ponders. So here comes the him.
Alright, there's the disruption.
Does he?
He's going to lose two if he wants to, I wish. We haven't.
Gerry's thinking what to do here about. He's just let these hymns resolve so far.
Yeah, so far he's not.
And it
really,
hasn't.
It hasn't adversely affected him because he won the game 1 off of getting hymns twice. In this case, though, he's going to hide some cards with that brainstorm. So you can take a look and see what's on top, and take anything, which includes a time spiral, by the way. Anything that he needs to protect and put them on top of his deck. That's one of the coolest things about Brainstorm, and not something that was immediately obvious to me back when I was 15 years old playing it or watching people play it in Ice Age.
Where your Domino's pizza is waiting for you. James, Walker, and Levy.
Alright,
I really hope they don't make that extraneous announcement again.
If you don't come to claim it, we will have pizza available for sale shortly.
Alright, so here goes the hymn. Looks like a Cunning Wish and an Island. Wonder how significant losing that Cunning Wish was, because I feel like that card represents so many other options for him.
Of course, losing islands is also bad. This deck.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Cunning Wish represents a lot of different options. That's what I'm thinking. Like the versatility of that card.
This is a very thirsty deck here.
Yeah, it's true. So there's another Brainstorm, and I definitely saw
Pact of Negation.
Yeah, I was gonna say I definitely saw Pact of Negation.
So it looks like he actually straight brought those into the deck.
Right, possible.
I mean, you can also merge and scroll for those. So.
Yeah. So.
I mean, he needs to win Counter Wars here. So.
Absolutely. So Drew going to take another turn to hopefully get some pressure here. There's a Ponder. I'd like to think about some more disruption for you, Gerry. In with the goif. Check it out. We got instant sorcery land at least.
Yeah, it's 3/4. And
Second Tarmogoyf, and that one's foil. Actually gets an additional power just because of that.
I doubt Travis is up right now,
No.
but if he is, he's drooling.
Yeah, all over that foil Tarmogoyf.
Draws a Pact of Negation and passes on back. And he's staring down 2 goifs right now, and it looks like he's kind of stalled out a bit here.
Right, he
Missed the
losing that
land drop.
island actually
Yeah.
was more significant than. And I thought, hell, look at that. Drew's got an altered Jace there. Nice extended border Jace.
Could maybe be the work of Hannah Murray.
Could be. She altered mine. Drew, she has been at some Star City events, several. That's actually Baltimore's where I had her alter my Jace. And Drew tends to attend these events just as well, so very possible. So there's the Jace, and Drew looks like he's brainstorming. Oh no, he wasn't. Did he brainstorm? I mean, obviously he brainstormed, but I guess I missed it. Didn't see what he grabbed. So there's an intuition from Gerry.
He's gonna force it.
Forces the intuition. Now I think Gerry may actually have a second one in his hand. Not to cast now, but
Right, obviously. You search up island. I'm just kidding.
you never know. He's using it as a half of a cultivate. So he's alright, fine, force the intuition. And I see Blue Sun, Zenith, Pact of Negation in Gerry's hand. There's a Brainstorm. And Time Spiral, Merchant Scroll, I think was the top. Yeah, there's Time Spiral, and I couldn't see what the other card was that he grabbed. He's got a Merchant Scroll, and Drew okays that. High Tide.
Yeah.
Grabs the High Tide, alright. So Drew knows he's probably got to be quick with the pressure now. Gerry is on 8 life, and I think so he's fetching an Underground Sea here. Gerry's on 8 life, so Drew, I don't know how big those goifs are. I know they're at least 3 power. If they're 4 power, obviously.
There are no creatures in the graveyard. I think it's just 3/4.
I think it is too.
So he does
Because
have another
otherwise, I
turn.
think, what is Gerry going to do to 2 4-power Tarmogoyfs when he's tapped out?
Brainstorm with Jace.
Right. Can you?
See, if he had a predict and he had a way to get the Tombstalker on top of his library.
Engineer explosives, and that's the game. Yeah, 'cause that's artifact.
Yep.
I think that's what it was. Awesome. So there's Drew taking down game 2. So now we get to go to a game 3.
That's exactly. No, you just said the same thing.
Yeah,
It'd be
well-
sick if he drew, discarded a creature, and swung for the kill.
Right. I mean that was one option, but obviously Drew found a better option, playing a 0-cost engineer explosives and cracking it.
Yeah.
For no effect on board except to pump the power of the Tarmogoyfs.
Right.
And that was that's enough. This game is so awesome. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, just like the interactions between cards, the fact that like that kind of thing is a relevant play. Just those kinds of things where you just see these things where somebody plays a card to do almost like literally nothing, and then and it actually has an effect, even though it looks like it does nothing. On the
Right.
face of it, does nothing. Like, okay, so you just played that. There aren't even tokens on the board to destroy. So Gerry getting a little bit of extra time to sideboard while Drew takes a quick break, I believe. So,
I don't know where he went.
but if you're just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco here with Big Head Joe.
Hello.
We're here in Memphis, Tennessee on Sunday, the legacy portion of the StarCityGames.com Open Series in round 3.
Sunday.
It is Sunday, but probably not Sunday.
It's not Monday,
We're here
Monday.
we're here in round 3 watching two Star City Games Open Series regulars. Gerry Thompson, who top 8'd it yesterday, the standard portion, and Drew Levin, playing 2 metagame players, at least in the last few weeks. Actually, the last 2 winners of the Star City Games Legacy tournaments, Team America, which won in DC, and High Tide, which won last week in Edison. So Gerry piloting the High Tide list and Drew piloting the Team America list. This has been some good games so far.
Yeah, Saturday night's all right for fighting, but it seems like Sunday's perfect too. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to get a song title with every day of the week in here before the end of the round. I can't think of any.
Anything
with
for weekdays besides Tuesday through Friday?
Friday I'm in love.
Right. And where's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right?
I don't know. I keep thinking. All I can ever think of is Adam's Family Groove
I don't know what that is.
by Hammer from the Adam's Family. I think Adam's Family Values soundtrack. He says, Wednesday, Pugsley, Gomez, Fester, man, there's some strange neighbors.
Oh,
But
see,
I
that's
can
not
only-
even a day of the week.
It's not,
It's
I
the
know.
name
That's
of
what I'm
the
saying.
girl.
That's the only one I can think. It's as close as I can get.
Yeah.
So,
So we believe we don't believe, but there are 137 players here today. We're going to have 8 rounds, so we're almost reaching the halfway point. One more round, and we'll be at the halfway point already. So it looks like X2s could possibly make it into top 8. Getting a lot of Tuesdays gone, Tuesday afternoon.
Ruby Tuesday by the Stones.
Right. A lot of suggestions. A lot of Rolling Stones and Leonard Skinner. Yeah, interestingly, this is a nice comment here by ProPlayer77 on Twitter that Drew could have actually played that engineered explosives for 4, which would have killed his own Jace, but also pumped the Tarmogoyfs further. Right? If he needed to, like if Gerry
Right.
had more life, that would have been another 2 damage
Sure.
potential. Like
Yeah,
those
yeah.
kind of interactions. It's interesting. Like I want to kill my own Jace because it actually benefits me because I have Tarmogoyf.
Right. But did he have the?
Did he have 4
the
colors?
Yeah, I don't think he
I don't
had
know
4
that he
colors.
had 4 colors. That's where he probably gets stuck on that. But did Gerry steal your Mountain Dew or no? It's still
I transferred it to him through the computer.
through the computer. Yeah, just like in Willy Wonka. Like
Or he found the
Except
convenience
strings.
store that I found maybe.
it's possible. May also be out of the one of the vending machines.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, I haven't actually used it. The sodas here are like $1, right?
Yeah, if they refilled the vending machines because yesterday they were sold out. Later
Yeah,
in the
that's why I grabbed a soda anyway this morning
Yeah.
because I figured the vending machines might be sold out.
Right, it annoyance has, and this is the point we're trying to make. All these crazy interactions, while some people may look and go, they're broken, it's actually what keeps Legacy diverse and fun. So
Right, there are interactions too. That's the thing. You know what I
right,
mean?
a lot of nice interactions.
Like
Just
it's not
I-
like Gerry just has to like plop down a card and then just go off. You
right,
know what I mean?
because
He
you
has
can
to
try to
really
go off and
dig. He
have to go through a stifle.
has to really go through a sequence, and he has to have all those spells resolve. Which, if you've ever watched Legacy, it's pretty hard to have all your spells resolve.
Exactly. Force of Will is
It's a real card.
I feel like the metagame it keeps the entire metagame in check.
Sure.
So Gerry consulting his notes, I believe, in between games. So Tim McLaren suggested Days of the Week by STP, which that's a nice generic one for all the days of the week.
But it doesn't actually name a day of the week in the song title.
Not in the title, right?
Not what we're looking for. Thanks for playing, Tim. Try again. Or just read Drew Levin's sleeves.
Here are 5. Those are I'm curious if Star City's going to continue with those sleeves, or if they're going to maybe print another batch with different quotes, at some point. I'm not sure if they're like limited edition kind of things
Yeah.
or what.
Okay,
Alright, so
so
Gerry going back to his deck. He didn't go to Pro Tour Paris, but he's going to Paris here. Alright, wow. Looks like somebody just sent us
I'm
an
clicking
entire list of song titles with days of the week.
Okay,
That was,
so we've got the
J.
answers
John,
here.
so
Thank you, Internet. Very
J.A. Johnson, probably.
Josh Hendricks to the main event stage.
Yeah,
Josh Hendricks.
All right, we got Glenn giving us a nice report about Stoneforge Bant and Rug control decks in Legacy coming up. We're gonna be featuring them at some point. I don't know if it's gonna be here on SCG Live or if it's gonna be deck techs that he's working on or what. But there's a tweet from Glenn. We're even getting the breaking news from Twitter from Glenn, who is across the room. You know, but wow, that sounds like standard decks, dude. Let's
See, there you go. Look,
Stoneforge Bant and Rug control. We're gonna see them face off against each other. I don't know how he could. I don't know if he's able to set that kind of thing up.
right. We know the Cure.
We said
Friday, I'm
Friday
in
and
love.
that was
Come
one that we
on.
said. Yeah.
Thursday's Child by David Bowie. Now that's one I have no excuse for not knowing. But anyway. Wasn't from one of his more popular albums, that's for sure.
So Gerry taking a look at his 6 here, I believe, and starting off with a Scalding Tarn into the unglued island, and a Brainstorm. Turn 1 Brainstorm, trying to unmulligan. Is that Force Time Spiral? Yeah, that's what it is. So he's got Force Time Spiral, Pact of Negation.
Jeez.
Force Time Spiral,
Josh
Pact of Negation.
Hendricks and
Is
Bobby
it a
Roode.
Merchant Scroll?
Actually,
Please come to the main event stage.
Alright, there's a Merchant Scroll, there's a Cunning Wish.
Yeah, he's got Time Spiral, Cunning Wish, Force Pact.
That might be an Intuition.
Merchant Scroll, maybe a High Tide, I think, maybe? Or that may be what
Is
he
that
just...
an Intuition or a Merchant Scroll is the question.
I think it was a Merchant Scroll, but could be wrong. So, a lot of counter magic.
Broke a sleeve there, it looks like. Or a couple, maybe.
Yikes.
Or no, just one. Drew ponders. Draws a Force of Will off the ponder. Plays a Tarmogoyf.
There he is with the early pressure again. Now, he's already got instant sorcery land, so that's a 3/4 Tarmogoyf.
Now this is very early pressure here for Drew. And it's already a 3/4.
That's what I just said.
Did you?
Yep.
I did not hear you. But he's gonna force it. So he
That's a dangerous Goyf.
still a 3/4 in the graveyard.
Oh, Gerry says, no, sir. You play the non-foil.
You do not get your foil. You do not beat me down with that foil.
Nice. I love that they both did that. Yeah, I love that Drew did that. Says, I want the foil, and Gerry says, no.
No
That
way.
one resolves, but it's got to stay non-foil. No upgrade.
Does the same amount of damage, but no, you play the copy, use cast.
Is that a foil Jace?
Wow, so he's
At
got...
least a Jace.
Gerry is pretty stuck here.
Yeah, 1 land. That's bad.
This seems like it's going to be really hard to come back from, although, I mean, Gerry has like a full grip of
Counter magic and
counter
things like
magic.
that, but he can't. That Pact of Negation is not going to help right now.
No, not at all.
That is a foil Jace, I'm almost positive.
Yes,
It looks
it is.
very foily to me.
He gets that one.
Yeah. Well, he gets it as long as it resolves.
Ditches the High Tide.
And there's a Force right back. So there's a...
Force your Force.
So we've seen Gerry use both of the Forces I saw in his hand. So he forced the Goyf, removing a Cunning Wish, and forced a Jace using a High Tide. But Drew forces Gerry's second Force to get the Jace and Fate Seal Gerry, saying, okay, you're stuck on land. I'm going to facilitate that particular situation for you.
For sure. This is Looking pretty ugly for Gerry right here.
I'll help you.
And he drew an island.
I hope that island stay a little unique here on the board. But yeah, you never know. That top card could have been a fetch or an island as well. So the fact that Gerry just drew an island could have been, he could have gone runner with the lands. But this may not be the case now that Drew has fate sealed him. No, was it a preordain? I think I saw at the bottom, because I think he just. He's merchant scrolling, so I think the bottom card may have been preordained that Drew fate sealed away.
Okay.
Caleb Durward and AJ Soccer, please come to the main event stage.
Is that a turnabout?
That it is. Gerry needs to get his
He needs
mana
lands.
situation together quickly.
Yeah. He's got, that Goyf, let's see, it still looks like only instant sorcery land at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, creature. There's the other Goyf. The other Goyf is
That's
helping.
right. So
yeah,
he's
so we
now
got a
4
power, yeah.
Yep.
And here's a predict from Drew. Targeting himself, and he predicts probably Verdant Catacombs. Yep, good call. Strange how he knew that after having a Jace there. And then he hymns Gerry. So Gerry
Really,
is
he's taking it to
absolutely
Gerry.
Beating his life total and his hand. And then I suspect probably a fate seal as well. He may actually want to see what he gets here first. And he hits Pact, Time Spiral. That Pact I don't think is as significant at the moment, because Gerry really, that Pact is useless to him right
neither
now.
one is really significant right now.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, and you're right, actually, those are probably the best 2 cards. I don't know what Gerry actually has still left in his hand, but those, being what they are, and that they're uncastable at the moment, may have been the best 2 cards for Gerry to lose. Because we know he still has the turnabout.
Yeah, he did get the other island. So he's getting his lands, but he doesn't have much to do.
And just in time, Gabe Lanciano points out that theoretically, High Tide can go off with only 3 lands, so it's potentially, there's still potential for Gerry to get back in this, and I think he knows that too. And Drew knows that. Drew needs to play tight here.
Right. Nobody is saying that anything's a given at this point.
Right.
But,
it just looks bad for Gerry right now.
It sure does. He's just going island here off the top of his deck. So I mean.
Oh, there we go. There's an
but
island.
he doesn't have anything to do with them.
Right. He's got Turnabout in his hand, and what is that other card? Any idea?
I can't see.
It's another blue card, but.
Yeah. He pitched the High Tide.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, it could be another High Tide, but I know it's not another Turnabout. Because they do look different. I just couldn't quite figure out what it was. It looks like it could be even a Cunning Wish, but it's really, he's flipping it too quickly for me to be able to tell. The one with the kind of yellowish orange art is the Turnabout, and the other one is something else.
All right, so
I'm thinking, judging for what I could see of Gerry's flipped card, it looked like.
Yeah, that's gonna be game.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, because that's a 4-power voice turning into a 5-power voice.
Unless he can counter it.
Okay, so he's gonna tap. Yeah, he's gonna Cryptic Command.
Yeah.
For those of you who have not.
And he dazes, and that's the game.
There we go. All right. So unfortunately for Gerry, he just could not survive the lack of islands in his High Tide deck.
Yeah.
That seems pretty to be expected when you don't see your lands, when you don't see your